I'm Kristi Blaver, and I am the Executive Director for the North Idaho Fair and Rodeo Foundation. What an Executive Director does is, it's a little bit like the CEO of a company, but for a nonprofit. I guess my concepts are what kind of guides the board of directors. I do a lot of the administration work, things like that, and just really try and keep the board on track and make sure that we're accomplishing the mission that we set out for ourselves.
Can you tell us how you got involved with the foundation and how you got to the job that you're at now?
Yes, I was kind of talking to you earlier, but it's kind of a two-part job. So right now I'm the marketing director of the fairgrounds, and I'm also the executive director of the foundation. And how I got into this position was actually through the marketing director portion of it. The executive director kind of came along with it, which I was really interested in. I started my nonprofit kind of career, I guess, and when I was in college. I interned for the Montana Meth Project when it was first starting out. So that's how I got into nonprofit work in the beginning, and I loved it. I guess I kind of always knew I wanted to help people, but I never really thought it would be through these avenues. So it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge, and it's fun to be able to help people that way.
So you always wanted to work in nonprofit?
I don't know that I would say I always wanted to work in nonprofit necessarily. I did always want to help people. I knew that. And the nonprofit just I kind of fell into it almost, I guess. I got asked to be a part of the Montana Meth Project and got to see how that whole operation worked, and got to come up with some creative ideas, and from there it was like, oh, this is kind of a cool job to be able to help people and, go through your career being able to help people and earn money for a good cause. It's rewarding.
Did you think that you'd get up this high? You're obviously very young.
I am.
Did you
and
think
a lot
that
of
you
people,
would...
It is kind of difficult. My board members are all older than I am, but I didn't think I would move up, I guess, that quickly. Like I said, some things just kind of fall into place, and along with the jobs that I've had, I guess this is one of the things that kind of came along with that. And the experience that I got early on in college was just absolutely valuable to that. Being able to work with such a huge nonprofit organization right out of the gate really had a lot to do with that, I think.
Mm-hmm. You said you did marketing. I've always been interested in marketing. So what kind of things do you guys do for fundraising and stuff like that? Just because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that the Fair Foundation is behind a lot of things.
Right. I would absolutely agree with that. And that's one of the things that we're definitely trying to change and grow awareness of our foundation. The biggest fundraiser that we have each year is the Cowboy Ball. You might have heard of that. So that takes place in our Jacqueline building. It's our third annual Cowboy Ball this year, but our first annual Cowboy Ball was held over in Building 1, and the proceeds from that actually paid for us to get heat and electricity in the Jacqueline building and lighting so that they could do the second Cowboy Ball actually in the Jacqueline building, which is great for our fairgrounds. It was a huge capital improvement, and now we're able to rent that facility out year-round, which ups the income that the fairgrounds will be able to take in. So it's a really exciting event, and it's a way to get people to donate to the foundation while also having a lot of fun. They get to listen to a band, they get to have dinner and learn to line dance, so it's a fun way for them to give back to the community and have a nice evening.
That's really awesome, because I did 4-H obviously, and it's freezing in that building.
It was freezing.
So it helps a lot, because even steer all year round has to do weigh-ins, so
right.
That's
right.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
What kinds of things do you do with the money that you think that people don't realize?
One of the things that we do with the money, obviously, is the number one thing we do is capital improvements. The reason the foundation exists is so we can perpetuate the fairgrounds and make sure that it's here for future generations. Unfortunately, across the country, there are a lot of fairgrounds that are going under and aren't able to support themselves, because I don't think a lot of people realize that the county only contributes so much money to the fairgrounds, and we run off the ticket admissions and donations for the majority of our income. That's what we rely on. So I think that that's something a lot of people don't realize. The money that we do raise, so it does go into the capital improvements of the fairgrounds to ensure that the fairgrounds is safe, usable, here for the community to enjoy. Also, some of the income that we take from the Cowboy Ball goes into student scholarships for graduating seniors.
I believe I got
So-
one of those when I graduated.
Awesome, very cool. Yeah, so we do 5 of those typically a year. I think this year we're going to try and do 6, but they're $1,000 scholarships. So yeah, it's nice to see, that it goes towards students like you and helping you in your career, and we love to see that because that's a big part of the foundation, is helping the youth in our community to grow and to learn and be able to be a part of something that's kind of bigger than themselves.
Do you guys think you do a lot with 4-H? Like, with the programs, do you contribute to the 4-H kids and the clubs?
We do work closely with them. We'd love to work more closely with them actually moving forward as well. But yeah, it is usually a lot of 4-H kids that are involved with fairgrounds events in general, and we do like to work closely with them. We're actually considering doing some cross-marketing for our foundation with them during their stock sale and things, so that a lot of people are aware about the stock sale, but also get them more aware about the foundation and the fact that they can actually give to the foundation and to the 4-H kids. So
That's a good way to do it.
yeah.
Do you guys actively seek people to give donations, or do you just kind of take it as it comes?
It's been kind of a mixed bag in the past, but we definitely realize the need to actively seek donations throughout the year. We just sent out a fall appeal, so a letter asking for donations end of year. I'm sure everybody gets those in the mail. You get them from different organizations. So we just sent out one of those, and we've got some money back in from that. So it was the first time we did that, but people towards the end of the year, they're making their tax decisions, and so that was a good opportunity for us to get out in front of people and kind of get out that awareness, first of all, that hey, we're here, and then ask for that donation. So yes, besides the cowboy ball during the year, we are actively seeking donations.
Do you think it's a lot of like 4-H alumni that gives money, or is it just people in the community that realize how important all this stuff is?
It does really go back to the people that the fairgrounds is important to their life. Those are the ones that'll usually give. And I think that's typical of almost any nonprofit, is you give towards the nonprofits that you have a connection with. So the people that give to the foundation are those people that grew up in 4-H. They're the people that have great relationship with the fairgrounds. They work with the fair, or they work with the different events here. They hold their events here throughout the year. We do have a lot of nonprofits that they hold their annual fundraisers here at the fair, so they'll also be more likely to give back because we give to them, we give them discounts in having their fundraisers here.
So networking would be really important. Do you see that on a daily basis? Because they tell us that a lot.
Yes. So not only in my personal career, the way I got my start at the nonprofit, the Montana Meth Project, was through networking. I went to a business dinner and met Tom Siebel, who is he's a very wealthy man that lives in California, but he grew up in Montana, and he saw the need for a Montana Meth Project there. And I had networked through a business function at the University of Montana, where I went to college, and I had met him, and he had asked me to come work for him for that project. So that was how I got my start actually into nonprofit, was networking. And now that I am in nonprofit, the networking is really important, because the people that are going to give money to you are the people that they want that personal relationship with you. They don't just want, that letter in the mail that will help them to give money, but they want that relationship with you and with your organization, and they want to know you and know why you're passionate about what you do and what it is that you do. Like the questions that you're asking me, what do you do with the money? Are you raising money year round, and why is it important that we give money to your organization?
You're talking about networking. Social media, and there's so many new technologies out right now. Do you think the foundation has been keeping up with that because it's been around so long?
Yes, and I think that's maybe one of the benefits of having younger people in your organization, is they're more in tune with the social networking, how that all works. So some of the things we're doing right now are obviously advertising on Facebook and raising that awareness. And we're fortunate because through the fairgrounds we were able to get, I think we've got almost 12,000 likes now on our Facebook page. So we get to talk to that many people essentially at no cost to us now. So we do utilize the fairgrounds website or Facebook page a lot for the networking kind of portion of it, and for getting the awareness out there of what the foundation is, when our events are, how you can give. That's another thing that we have that's a little more technologically advanced, I guess, is we do have an online donation widget. So you can go to our website and you can make a donation online. The donation that you can make can be recurring, so you can put in your credit card number and it takes out $20, I think, every month. So we have a barn door donor club that's actually that recurring donation, and that's a way we were using technology, because it would be really difficult to go out and solicit $20 from someone every month. But there are those donors that say, you know, I don't have a lot to give all at once, but if I could budget it into my monthly income, then it'd be easier for me. So that's something that we use as well. We also use a lot of e-blasts, which gets us really great results, because people like to get that newsletter and kind of know what's going on at the fairgrounds. And then we have a little button in the end, the sidebar of the newsletter that you can click to donate money to. So yes, we definitely use technology, and it's that's where nonprofit is moving. There's still a lot of the good old boys, you know, a lot of the ones that want to talk to you face to face, but there are a lot of, you know, the younger generation does like to, they want to give online and be done with it sometimes. So we want to cater to both of those kind of crowds, I guess.
That's really awesome. You got to get to the kids that are glued to their phones.
Yes, absolutely.
Even
adults are glued to their phones.
It's the new thing.
It is. It's the way we're moving.
Other than changing from generation to generation, what else do you find to be the most important to the success of the foundation?
I would say the most important thing is that you have to have a board and a team that wants to take action. A lot of the fair foundations that we've spoken to, they have a team or a board that's really passionate about saving the fairgrounds, but they don't know how to go about raising the money to do that. So it seems like maybe there are a lot of decisions being made and time being spent doing things that are not necessarily vital to raising those funds that are needed. So I would say that's one of the most important things. Is first you have to be passionate about what you do, because that passion is what's going to get other people passionate about what you do as well, and help them to either volunteer for your cause, donate to your cause, get involved, spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And then also you have to be able to take action. So you have to be able to go out and raise that money to make your goals achievable. If it wasn't for the money that we raised throughout the year, we wouldn't be able to do some of the things that we would like to and need to do for the fairgrounds.
You said something about the board. We've talked about boards a lot in our class, and it's always emphasized how important it is to have a good board that works together. And you also said the fundraising part, they don't know what to do. We've also had a lot of reading about how it's hard to get boards to fundraise themselves because it's not technically part of their job and they don't know how to go about doing it. How do you guys go about doing that? Does your board actively help, or is it hard to get them to do it?
You are right. A lot of, so board members are volunteers. So to ask them to go out and raise funds when they're already volunteering of their time can sometimes be difficult. What we have done with our board is one of the things that I really wanted to do. We have a lot of board members that have really various talents and skills. So we broke them down into committees. So we've got a marketing committee, a fundraising committee, an events committee, a finance committee, and an education committee. And those committees allow the board members to contribute to the fundraising in a way that they can lend their specific passions to. So that's one of the things I think has really helped. And it is. I mean, every person on the board is sort of expected to be able to fundraise and to help with those efforts. So whether that's showing up to a booth at one of our events and selling our pavers, we've got little bricks that you can buy at the fairgrounds, and you know, kind of leave your legacy with your name and date and message. So they do that, or they help with the cowboy ball. Maybe they help with the auction part of it, or they help to get their friends to buy a table. So there are a lot of different ways for them to be involved without necessarily having to go out and knock on doors. We obviously love when they are willing to do that, but if they're not, there are a lot of other ways that we help them to still be active and raise funds.
With specific skills, that's what you were just talking about. What kinds of things did you find that were really important for you to learn or to know before you came to this job?
I think the biggest skill, the most important skill, is being a big picture thinker, if that makes sense. To be able to see from your board's perspective, to be able to see from your donor's perspective, to be able to see how everything that you do fits together. So to really be able to say, you know, if I was a donor, what would make me feel compelled to give or to be passionate about this cause? If I was a board member, what would make me feel compelled to be able to contribute to what our mission is? So I would say that by far is the biggest skill that I've had to learn and had to incorporate into my job every day, is being that kind of big picture thinker.
Did you find it really hard in the beginning when you first started working with all
Yes.
these people?
Yes, being in this position, you do work with a lot of different types of people. You work with, the kids, you work with adults, you work with donors, you work with business owners, you work with board members. So yeah, you definitely work with a lot of different people, and like I was saying, sometimes it's easy to get bogged down on tiny details and really focus on, oh, I need to make sure that the curtains are in for the cowboy ball, or that the twinkle lights are in a certain spot. And to really get that big picture thought of, does it really matter, to the outcome of the event, or, is there somebody else that can maybe take on that position that would be really passionate about it? I think that's key to making the organization function and continue to move forward.
Do you get to work closely in the events that you do?
Oh, yes. Yeah, so we do the cowboy ball, and we also, like I said, we are involved in events here at the fairgrounds throughout the year. So at our North Idaho Sportsman's Expo, we have a booth and we try and raise awareness. So it is a lot of event planning, which I absolutely love, and it's a lot of, how are we going to get the people that are specific to the Sportsman's Expo involved in learning about the foundation? How do we relate that to them? Or how do we plan the cowboy ball so that everybody not only has a good time, but feels compelled to, bid on an auction item or donate to our cause.
Awesome. Is there anything that you wish you knew before you began to work here?
Ooh, I really, there were a lot of intricacies about working with a board that I didn't know before I came here. When I worked at the Montana Meth Project, I wasn't part of the board function. That didn't actually take place where I worked. So I didn't know much about being involved with a board when I came to work here. So I didn't know much about bylaws or things like that. I didn't really know how a board was supposed to function, I guess. So it was a big learning curve, and I took nonprofit classes, and I wanted to learn everything I could learn so that I would be able to better help serve the board.
We're running out of time, actually. So is there any advice that you would give a student that would want to work in the future? Is there anything else that you think the class should know?
Oh, yes. And I think it's kind of what I was saying earlier, is you have to have two things, in my opinion. You have to have the passion to want to make a difference, and then you have to have the action. So you have to be both passionate about what you're doing, and you have to be able to put that to action to accomplish what you need to accomplish. I think a lot of people can kind of do one or the other, but to really hone your skills and be able to do both is important. Not only convey your passion, but make sure that you're raising funds so that you can accomplish your mission. Because a lot of nonprofits, that's what it is. It's raising funds so that you can help the person that you want to help, or help the organization that you want to help, or, like with the Montana Meth Project, help people to be educated on why that's such a terrible drug. And so I think that the passion and the action are the two things that I would say are the most important if you're going to go in the nonprofit sector.
It's good to know. I feel like people, if they start to go working in nonprofits, is something that they would have in the first place almost. Mm-hmm. Just because if you don't have the passion,
right,
then most people won't volunteer their time to do those things.
Yeah.
So that's really great. And thank you.
Oh, absolutely.